Oh,
Look at
not
that. We're
live?
recording now. No, it's no. Why the fuck would it be live streaming it, dude? My internet's dog shit. It would crash. We wouldn't be able to fucking record anything.
Live. So you're gonna edit this later then?
Now, if by edit
what
you mean
editing?
put a fucking overlay on it and then oh
No.
my god, I just realized I didn't upload the last podcast. It's like rendered and sitting on my YouTube channel with like the publish button next to it. And I was like, "Oh, I'll do that 2 days ago." Completely forgot. Anyways, we're already off to a tangent. Anyways, this podcast, Shamclaw, just for your reference, only exists because one of my friends who used to be one of our bench players, but then everyone stopped showing up, so now he's our full-time raider, named Aether, /Aethel. His wife one day was like, "I get bored driving to work. You should do a podcast." And now I've been doing this for like 13 weeks, I think, maybe 14 or 15, because I think we've missed a lot of uploads because we're really bad at
You've missed a lot of uploads. I've missed
Jit.
none.
Shut the fuck up. I'll kill you. How many episodes Jit has missed? And Jit's like, "I'll be your co-host." Jit has been on, I think,
6.
that's probably an accurate number.
No, there's no universe. Let's just look at the
I'm
record.
listening.
Last week, he kicked me off the podcast. That doesn't sound like a very co-host thing to do.
To clarify, Jit showed
Also,
up with
good
a
morning, man.
webcam mic that would peak every single fucking time he talked, and you couldn't hear him. It was so awful. Fuck you, Jit. I think.
Not your fault.
How's that my fault?
I told you, weekends, not a good time. All
Yeah,
I have is a webcam mic, and you said,
So
"That's
when I
fine."
asked you, "Can you do Saturday?" instead of saying, "Nah, dog, doesn't work for me," you went, "Absolutely, buddy. I absolutely
anything
can."
for the team. Anything.
Fucking hate you. I hate you so much.
So you don't like this?
That makes me want to fucking commit living. I reminds me of when so our paladin in our game, the red paladin, I'll fucking kill you. That sound drives me insane. We have a paladin
He's
named
gonna crash.
Sad Boy Miami. We had another guy named Shans. One time Shans' sound card was like fucking up and he couldn't hear. Like he would hear everything that he was watching on YouTube through his mic. So like or anything on his browser. So you always just start hearing like random rap sounds. Thankfully never pornography. That'd be fun.
I
But
don't know. That'd be a good conversation starter.
so Fieldings goes, "Oh, like I work with like sound stuff all the time. I'm like a musician. Like it's just reinstall your sound drivers. So just go delete them." And then so Shane's deletes his sound drivers and he's like, "How do I install new ones?" And Fieldings is like, "I don't know." Like I don't fucking know. I thought you would look it up. And then so now Shane's mic doesn't work because he's deleted his sound drivers, so he can only talk using text to speech. And it was probably the funniest month of my life, where he would just
It
random.
took him a month to figure out how to install.
He's a boomer.
them?
He's a fucking boomer, dude. He's got 2
Oh.
kids. He's like fucking 70,000 years old. And yeah, he did not
That's
have a
unfortunate.
functioning mic for a long time. It was a fucking great bit though. He would just join Discord like, "Hello guys, my name is Chans," and it was never
mean-
not funny.
I have a mic, but I prefer using the headset because for some reason when this is like got 3 like cables so it can work into my computer. It's a Microsoft for
Yeah.
like a Xbox Live that you plug
Based.
into the controller,
Based.
and for absolutely no reason, this has the same quality as a Blue
Oh,
Yeti.
yeah, I was gonna say your mic is absurdly good. Sounds great.
Well, Yeah, I know. I can't find anything like it sounds the same when I use this,
Mhm.
and I'm just okay. I guess I'll use the headset. This is weird, but because Microsoft makes things the work like has an industry standard for like wireless, you have to make the mic good because wireless sucks.
Yeah.
So just I have a spare one. This one hasn't broken out. I mean, there's like tape.
Based. Oh, is that like a Microsoft branded headset?
Yeah, it's just for Xbox
Holy
like
shit.
controllers. It's meant to
Based,
go
dude,
into the
I-
controller.
So I used to Xbox was like exclusively what I gamed on until I was like in the middle of high school and I bought a computer and ruined my life.
Yeah. So my parents were very strict.
Based.
No teen or M-rated games for me. But the babysitter brought Halo.
Based.
So I was allowed to play Halo. So that's the only game I played in my youth.
Aethel had a similar experience where his parents were like, you can't read Harry Potter, that's witchcraft. That's the devil's work. But he can play WoW for some reason, so he just played a bunch of WoW as a child and never got to read Harry Potter because it's witchcraft.
my dad also had we're not my family's not religious, but my dad's like, I don't want the ideas of the devil getting in your head. No Diablo for you.
Based. Fucking based, Dad. Yeah, you
It's like,
can't play
damn.
Diablo.
Yeah, the only game I was ever banned from playing was GTA 4 or 3, whatever was out at the time. Everything else would fly except for GTA.
Dude, I
They drew a hard line at that.
had such a different childhood. I remember my dad coming home like, yeah, it's called a Grand Theft Auto Vice. You can kill hookers in it. It's pretty cool. And then just give me the game. Like, good luck. I'm like 7. Like, okay, fuck it. Like, let's go kill some hookers.
I'm gonna do the exact thing my dad told me about. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, dude. My dad was cool as fuck in that, like, if a video game existed, he would like always get it for me. Like, he had no concept of video games and like he didn't play them at all. But he was like, I know that my child will probably like video games. So he spent a fuck ton of time like researching video games he would never play. Actually, like S-tier fatherhood strategy. Unfortunately, he's like a horrible racist, so you know it sort of doesn't balance out. But
Muddled the waters.
yeah, thinking back to like the stuff that my dad did was always cool. Where it's like as an adult, you think back to like the amount of thought that went into like X action. Where it's like as a kid, it's like, oh wow, I got a new video game. It's like no. What happened? Like, 'cause the internet wasn't like super popular as it was like is now. It's like no. What happened was my dad was driving home from work and was like, I guess I'll go stop at the old game stop and ask the employees, what would my son like to play? And they'd be like, how old's your son? And he'd be like, 17. Meanwhile, I'm like fucking 5. So yeah, I got all the greatest games, and it was super fucking sick. And my dad is like, I don't understand why you like video games so much. I wish you would like, you know, like woodworking. It's like, well, you fucking force fed me video games from the age of fucking 7. Like, what did you think I was gonna become? Like, I never had to like sneak onto the computer or anything. My dad was just like trying super hard to be a good dad and like accidentally just knocking it out of the park. Like, when I was a kid, I played Crysis on like a computer that could run Crysis, and it was like so fucking fun. And at no point did my dad ever go, why are you strangling like North Koreans? Like just violently punching them in the head and they scream. He was always like, oh, that looks fun. I'm going to go to work now. It's like, thanks, Dad. I'm going to keep playing this. Yeah,
I think the only thing my dad also introduced me to games, but very differently, I could see.
Yeah. Is he like involved?
Like at 3, he introduced me to like a bubble popping game that was literally to like use your mouse to click on bubbles and pop them.
I see.
And then
high level gameplay.
The next one, but Bard's Tale was a good time. He just played while we watched, and we switched out. But the first one was the Final Fantasy War of the Lines, or Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that the game was really sexist. So when you go to buy a male warrior and a female warrior, what do you think the difference there is?
Please don't tell me it's 70 cents on the dollar.
It's about 30% cheaper to buy a female warrior, and they can't wear and male warriors can't wear dresses, perfumes, and necklaces. So female warriors in the game, well, just female characters across the board, could wear all these extra things and were cheaper.
So yeah, so this game's actually incredibly feminist and just proves that females are just the superior fighting force.
Yeah, but when you're gonna go buy someone, there's the women are cheap.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that part. All right, so just worry about how min-maxy you can get the female characters.
Love the game. In the remake, they finally changed the price to be equal.
Oh my god, dude! These goddamn woke gamers. I fucking hate this.
Still can't give the perfume to guys though.
Based. At least they kept that. Oh my god! Do you ever interacted with guys who don't understand that like cologne is not Axe body spray, and that you shouldn't be spraying gallons of it?
People take showers in it. That's normal, right?
Dude, sometimes they'll step into a motherfucker's car, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna die. Like, if we don't crack a window, there isn't enough oxygen in here. There's only cologne, you rat motherfucker.
See, like for smells for me, if I get like a whiff of anything strong, if it's Axe, I'm like, yeah, I can't be in your car. Yeah, no, I'm just not gonna be in your car.
Oh, dude, so I'm starting to cream, but the premise isn't normal. I've always let people borrow my car, and like friends or neighbors, if you need my car, go for it, dude. Take my car out, just don't plow it into like a parked car or something, and we're Gucci. My fucking neighbor uses my car and he smokes cigarettes in it, and it's like, I've never been more mad in my life than like
Why?
3 days ago.
I
I
went
gotta
out very quickly.
I gotta open my fucking car door. This is the first time it's happened. So like, I open my car door and it just like hits me, and it's like the rage that I felt. I don't get mad about shit usually in my like personal life, but I was like actually genuinely upset. And it's like, yeah, if I saw him right there, like I probably would have tried to fight him. I was so fucking annoyed. Like,
Well, like, it's so uncalled for because it actually gets into the car. Like,
Yeah.
you can't, like, it's a part of the, like, you actually
Yeah.
have to replace things to get rid of that
Yes.
smell if it's been smoked in too much.
dude, I bought this shit, and so I've had to like empty this fucking can in my car, and it's like kind of worked. But
Oh, fuck. Jesus.
so fucking
Sister had a
triggering.
similar thing that just happened to her.
Oh no.
Her boyfriend took her SUV to work,
Mhm.
and the work SUV wasn't working. So there, he was just like, "Just use my car. Like, we can move all the drywall sheets in my trunk."
Uh-huh.
And so now it's like 3 grown men all smoking
Yeah.
in her car while like loading it full of power tools and drywall.
Yeah.
And when she gets it back, it's just like filthy and stinks. And I'm like, "Wow, you're a fucking idiot," and so is he.
Yeah, that's when that's when you pay to get the car detailed, you know, just like, just fixed a bit, you know,
Dude,
cleaned.
Have I told you the fucking what happened to all of my power tools up here?
No, I missed that, and you said something in general about it, and then I went back to work.
Well, they're buried under about 2 feet of snow right now.
Based, okay. They shouldn't be,
So
from my understanding of power tools.
yeah. So are you familiar with the game The Sims?
Yeah,
So you know how like you'll give your sim an action, and then you can like cancel that action, and they'll just stop it, and they'll just drop the shit they're doing with it, and like go do the next thing. Yeah, that's my brother. So like he like was like working on stuff in the backyard, like trying to cut up this tree we have, and he was like, nah, I'm bored, I'm not doing this anymore. And instead of like, so like what I did, right? So behind this, I have like a pegboard. I can't see it, but I have all my tools hung up and shit. You know, my brother just drops them on the floor, and then so it snowed, and it snowed again. Then it kept snowing, and then it snowed for another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks, and now it's like hard packed, like 2 feet of fucking snow. Like, it's absurd. And yeah, so I was like, oh, like, do you know where this is? Like, so I can go like work on the closet. And he's like, I think it's in the backyard. And I'm like, like you just used it today, and it's in the backyard. It's like, no, I think when we were trying to cut the tree up. It's like, oh, I guess I won't be using the tools that I want. So instead of using like a bandsaw or like a circular saw to just cut right through this fucking aluminum, I take a hand saw, and let me tell you, it's really fucking hard to get straight lines with like a saw designed to cut wood with like, you know, big gaps in it, trying to cut aluminum. So I'm like, because you can't get back and forth motion with this fucking thing because it's like not made for cutting fucking metal. So I was like last night just like using as many fucking clamps as I could to like hold it as steady as possible, like 1, 2, 3. It was like fucking 40 or 70 like thrusts before I cut through it. It's all jagged and fucked up, and I was like, so I had to like file it for like 20 minutes. It was like, I hate this. I'm so triggered.
Listen, I understand. I remember I cut my bed frame apart using the same tool.
Oh my fucking god, I forgot you cut it. So Jit moves in a new place, right? And he's like, oh, I want to get my bed frame upstairs. And he's like, it would be inconvenient to carry my bed frame upstairs. I'm gonna saw it in half. Just literally
not what happened.
That's what happened. That's how I'm choosing to tell the story. Sawed it right in half. 50-50. And what does old boy do? What does old Top do? He carries it upstairs in 2 pieces now, and then he takes like, you know, like little like metal fucking plates, and he fucking tries to fasten it back together with his metal plates. I'm shocked your bed is not fucking imploded on you, Jet.
No, it wasn't just out of convenience, first of all.
Okay, I'm listening.
There simply was not room to bring it upstairs.
Sure, buddy.
There just wasn't. The house is definitely not built to any standards. And
Listen.
like the stairs are the tightest things I've ever seen in my life. The mattress barely went upstairs.
Like London tights, like you know how they actually have to have their furniture designed for how skinny the housing is, or
Well, I do live in London, so yes.
well,
Oh,
okay,
so London type.
No,
Okay.
Jit, no.
No, I
Jit
do
lives
live
in
in
London, Canada.
Oh yeah. So no.
It's still. I'll take a picture of it next time I'm up there,
Okay,
and
okay.
you'll see how tight that fucking.
Listen,
I don't know,
Jay,
you
this
told
is my cope. So I have like exceptionally tight like stairwell as well that's like aids to move furniture in, and I still got all my stuff up without having to saw anything in half. It required like an
there's
ungodly
simply-
amount of her body strength and twisting. I think you could have done it.
No, there's no twisting. There's just not enough room vertically or horizontally for
Yeah,
any degree of
I
that.
could have done it.
No, you just couldn't have.
I could have done it.
Anyways, I'll forward a picture for.
Yeah,
But
no,
anyways,
I
yeah.
mean-
So that's why I had to, and then I got joiner plates, and I joined them properly.
Dude, it's so fun. My mom couldn't comprehend that, like, so for reference, Shamclaw, I've worked in like construction for like 10 years. I quit like
Okay.
2 years ago, so I've got like, you know, just hundreds of hours grinding out that like building shit skill, and it's just so we went to like Home Depot, or I think it was Lowe's, to go buy stuff because to like fix my closet, because the person that made my closet only built half of it. So like there's like a whole empty fucking side that's like not built yet. And so I need to like mount these bars in it to like hang clothes on. And my mom just could not grasp the idea of like, you know, we could spend, you know, the $17 to buy the like fucking mounting bracket for this stupid bar, or we could just go spend $1 on like a bunch of scrap metal and I can just go make this. And she really didn't like that I wanted to just make it, because yeah, when you're using like shitty I'm trying to like how to describe these things to you. It's just fucking scrap metal. It looks like shit when you make it, but it functions. And like I'm the kind of person that like I only care that it functions. That's like the only prerogative I have. It's like,
Fair.
can I hang clothes on this? If the answer is yes, I'm going with the cheapest fucking option.
I don't get why people go like, if you have the option, just take it. You know, like you're like, oh, I've saved money. Nice, easy.
Like, if you're in a position where, you know, your whole house, like the house I live in looks like shit. It's like I'm in like a basement someone else built. Half the fucking like crown molding isn't on properly. Like it looks like shit. So it's like, why the fuck am I gonna invest the time to make this one section look nice? You know, if I like remodeled my basement, I would. But this thing is like falling apart. It's complete dog shit. So there's no universe I'm putting any effort into making it look nice. Sorry, Jay, what were you saying before I started screaming about how much I hate buildings and walls?
Oh, I was just gonna say that it's not just out of like you want to build it, you know, you'd rather do it. It's all about the money. He has 47 cents in his account.
Yeah. Oh, for
So
sure.
buying the scrap metal means he
Yeah.
had to skip lunch for the next 2 days
Yeah.
instead of 11 days.
Yeah, so it turns out when you quit your very lucrative job and don't work for like almost 2 years, you like start to run out of money or something.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I've just been like selling like all of my stocks that I've had for years finally to like pay for things. So it's like, I guess we're selling BlackBerry today because I want to go eat. So boop, 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 boop. And you know, I still somehow find money that I forgot that I had. I did a really good job of like what's the word I'm looking for? Diversifying my portfolio, because there are seriously days where I'll like see a tweet and then I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking have like this, you know, asset on this. Oh, I'll sell this and go get a hamburger based. And it's been going great. One time for my birthday, I told Jed I would pay for all this food. And then the very last day we went out to get some food. We were like 5 cents over what I could afford. It was awful. And then Jake paid for it.
Now, I also just had money to pay for it myself, but that was not an option presented.
So you're just forced to pay the 5 cents?
No. Jake just paid for it all because Jake's a fucking handsome little guy. Oh yeah, you haven't met Jake. I forget that you don't exist outside of Raid Day. Jake's a nice little guy I went to high school with, who has for the last 3 years been like, dude, don't worry, I'm gonna level a character on Grob. We're gonna raid together. I can't wait to raid with you. And that just has never happened once. So.
Does he at least have access to Grob, or did he get cut?
Absolutely. He's had a fucking hunter on here for all of 3 years. He's got a boomkin as well.
No.
He was gonna be our original boomkin, right? And he was like, I'm gonna be a boomkin. And then Manaclaw said, what should my friend fucking Seamus play? And I said, well, Boomkin is the answer because there's no fucking universe that Jake levels that Boomkin. And what do you know? That Boomkin's level 72 right now.
He's almost
Well,
there.
Fucking.
Don't worry. I like typhooning things, so it
Oh, I
works
know
out.
you do, buddy. You fucking type them in the next pack, and I start screaming uncontrollably, shaking violently in my chair. It's quite the experience.
It's funny the timing that you asked me to do this podcast, because in like 4 days I'm gonna have all this off, and I haven't had a haircut in, I don't know, 7 months.
Hell yeah, dude. I got one haircut from this lady, and she annoyed me. And then I scheduled another haircut, and she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get charged if you don't show up." And I went, "Cool." Then I didn't show up. So that was a giant waste of my my resources.
I had a similar experience with this place I went to for therapy. Because well, there's a lot of things in Canada you can get covered, and therapy is one of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, general therapy, that sounds neat. And then the I had like 4 sessions, and they're like, yeah, do you have anything to talk about? And I'm like, not really. I was gonna see is like,
See what's
health, right?
popping, yeah.
Yeah, see, let's try things. They're like,
Yeah, if you're not fucked up, this doesn't really help
yeah,
us.
they're just like, oh yeah, here's some tools for the things you have. I'm like, cool. Anything else? No. It's like, okay. And then I find out a month later that they're like, yeah, so we gave you an appointment that you didn't come to. I'm like,
Yes.
the fuck? I didn't. But me and the therapist agreed we were like both done with this relationship. Like, yeah, but you need to pay for that. I'm like, no. So I talked, and then I talked to the therapist. He's like, oh my God, you didn't come. And I'm like, we talked about this. He's like, I guess I can give you 50% off. And I'm like, no.
So I had a very similar experience, but instead of money, it was my grades in high school. Where so basically there was a clerical error. I was going to college while I went to high school, and it's like when we take college classes, they're obviously worth high school classes. So I like turned them into some lady. My last name is Whitehead, so it's like usually when you print out a fucking sheet of paper and it's 3 pieces of paper, the third paper looks blank, but when you flip it over, my name's just at the top and you don't see it half the time. So I've had a lot of fucking issues with that because like people are retarded, and she didn't like put any of my like college classes in. So like I go check my stuff, and in California, you had to like have X amount of credits to graduate high school, and you got X amount of credits per class or whatever. So I check my shit because everyone's bragging about how much we all had because college courses are worth so much more, to where it's like one college class is like 4 high school classes in terms of credits. And so I'm like, oh, I probably have like fucking 400 or something, and we need like 225 to graduate. So I check it, and it's like 185. And my fucking chest like I'm like panicking, like, oh my God, I have to repeat senior year. Like, how? Like, I've never failed a class. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Did I just not do the math right on my fucking classes? Like, oh my God, I'm such a fucking
You just
idiot.
weren't registered. You were just there.
Yeah. So I like go to the counselor and I talk to her. I'm like, yo, we need to get like these 7 classes. Like, let's get me like 0 period after school stuff. Like, we need as much shit as we can fucking get into a semester. And she's like, you got it. She's like, oh, well, you haven't taken this class. Why isn't this on your list? And I'm like, I took that shit in college. It's probably a bug. And she's like, well, no, it says here we don't have any recollection of this. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, shoot it. Like, they haven't put in my college courses. Okay, based. I'm safe. I'll go talk to that lady. Go ahead and take all these classes off my schedule. She's like, you got it. I fucking leave. And I vividly recall this. At the time, thought nothing of it. After this all happens, it's like, it's the most important piece. Her fucking phone rings. She answers her phone. She's like, hello. And because she answered her phone, she forgot to take my classes off. So like fucking 2 or 3 weeks later, I get a fucking letter in the mail from like the District Court of California. And I've been like charged with like 80 counts of truancy, because in America, if you don't go to school, you go to fucking jail. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to go to jail. So I just completely ignored that. And it went away. That was pretty cool. So I fucking, oh my God, I hate this bitch. So I like march into her office and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why do I have like 5 million Fs right now? And she's like, oh my God, I must have slipped my mind. Silly me. I mean,
fire that. What the fuck?
Well,
no, that's not cool.
So her response to her solution was, okay, well, like, unfortunately, we've passed the point in which I can remove these classes from your schedule. The only way to do it is if, like, you personally wrote a letter to the dean, and like the dean of attendance, I think, and like got like your shit sorted out. Meanwhile, I'm like fucking 15 or 16. I don't give a fuck about doing any of that shit. I'm just gonna ignore it because I'm a retarded child. And her solution was like, well, you've already taken these classes. They can't be that hard. Just go to them. And we were like, bitch, I will kill you with a fucking hammer.
No.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I would have crucified her. Holy shit.
So yeah, it turns out getting 7 Fs your senior year of high school takes your mid GPA and just tanks it into the fucking dirt. I graduated with like a 1.4, which is I don't think it's actually possible to do that. Like, the only way you graduate with a 1.4 is like if you're on like your 9th year of high school. And yeah, so that was cool for I remember just the like, just take the classes. How hard could they be? Being like, fuck that.
The only thing I got similar to that was when I had to hand in an art final, and because I was very good at Photoshop, I just had 100 in the course. And it was a very blow off course because I just like dicking around on Photoshop anyway. And I was like, yeah, I got the flu, so I gave a flash drive to my brother. I'm like, yeah, give this to my teacher. So this is my final. You know what my brother didn't do?
Give the flash drive to your teacher.
Yep. And do you know what happened when I tried to give it to her later and put it on the school system?
She said, no, eat a bag of dicks, retard.
No, the school deleted all they wiped clean for the next year.
Ah, I see.
And the flash drive broke.
Nice,
so
dude. You hate to see it.
No.
So I didn't have it because it was just living on a flash drive. She's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you work on it. I can give you a 60."
Based.
It's like,
yeah,
no.
I give you a basically failing grade.
Yeah. I'm like, no, that will tank my grade. All right, how about a 70? I'm like, you saw me do this. You seeing my thing, does that give me the failing grade? And she's like, fine, an 80. I'm like, yeah, but it would have been 100. And she's like, it would have been if you handed it in on time. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
I think about the grading system a lot, and I really feel like F should be a lot higher than 50%. Like 65% should be an F to me. Like think you could get straight D's in America at least, which is like you get 60% on everything, and they just let you graduate high school. Like, motherfucker, you fucked up 40% of everything you tried to learn, and they just let you leave? Like, no, you're retarded. Like, what the fuck?
I don't get it either, because like, why is there a letter grade when you can have a percentage that you could actually visually see what you've done?
Exactly. It's just, I always think about that, like, damn, like, you can really fuck up 40% of all your learning, and they'll just be like, hey, he did it. And as far as like every job you apply to, like, oh, he's a high school diploma, perfect, he's done this. Or it's like, just go to community college for 2 years, right? And then they stop asking for your fucking high school diploma. And it's like, yeah, no, you can just fuck everything up until like you're like 27, and then it starts to matter. It's crazy how much like leeway there is in the world.
I'm glad to use my specific age right now.
I got you, buddy.
Good. I like that.
Not only that, but you can also just wait 2 years and apply to any university as a mature student.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
clean anyways. They
Yeah.
just don't ask for the records.
And it's healthier to wait 2 years too, apparently. Like there's the theory that, well, not theory, the evidence that because you're in school, you have that school mentality, like, so you just want to go straight in so that you can keep that mentality going. But then they've found that a lot of people career switch quite often, so like 3 to 4 times is the average, which is still high if you think about it. So if people take 2 years off, they'll find out what being an adult and an individuality really is.
Yeah.
To like work or to travel or whatever have you. And when people get that real world hit, they'll be like, okay, school it is.
Yeah. No, dude, it blows my fucking mind how often, like, we'll be like, yeah, no, like, how old are you? Oh, you're fucking like 16? All right, well, just go ahead and figure out what you do for the rest of your life, because you got like a week to figure that out. Yeah,
they need to tell the kids that they can. You don't have to do the one thing. You can switch. You can change. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then you got teachers going, "Don't waste your life. Don't do this. You're gonna be a failure." And it's just like all these heavy things. So then the choice, when you're literally just flooded with hormones as you're going through puberty, is thrown upon you in that good old like child acid-filled brain of puberty. You
Yeah.
know, I just it's just too much pressure.
Yeah, I'm like actually shocked at how shit our system is for like helping children decide their future. It really is just like, you know, you turned 17, just pick one and hope you don't pick the wrong one, because if you do, you're gonna be unhappy.
You're probably just going to be in a lot of help groups because you're going to fail at the job, and then you're going to have to live off people, and they'll slowly grow to hate you. You know,
Yeah.
just the usual. It's, your
Yeah.
family would disown you because you don't make money, and that's all that matters, really. Hey, happiness, no money. Come on.
Yeah, I'm shocked at how like how rat racy so many people are for money, and like I don't know. It really shocks me how much like torture people will put themselves through to make like $20,000 more a year. And it's like, are you using like is the torture you're receiving worth the extra 20K? Like, are you like actually utilizing it to like improve your life? And the answer is never yes.
It's the like last bits of the American dream. The American dream had a very you work till you die.
Yeah.
And then you got a lot of people going, oh, how much do you have saved? Oh, I have this. And you got all these boomers with like hundreds of thousands of dollars saved. And they're like, oh, yeah, what are you going to do with it? What do you mean? I've saved this.
I'm going to die.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like-
hold on to it.
I was actually thinking about this in the shower today, where I was like, the amount of people like, so like obviously like having $100,000 saved and like having children versus not having children are two different universes, right? Like there is like a noble sense of like saving all this money to leave it to your like, you know, your soon to be like your whatever the word for ancestors is, but in the future, you know, your future
Your
ancestors,
descendants.
your descendants. That's the fucking word I was thinking of in the shower.
Whichever descendant has the best lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Specifically.
Well, no, you should write in a piece of paper. You're like, Timmy's better than Joey, so fuck Joey.
That's spoiler alert. Pieces of paper mean nothing when you're dead.
Fuck, true. Actually, Game of Thrones taught me that. But like, if you don't have kids and you don't have like a cause you're donating to, like if you die with like $20,000 in your bank account, which I guess would be a small amount at that age, but like if you die with fucking 9 cents in your fucking bank account, like that's 9 cents of fun you could have had before you died, retard. You're really not fucking min-maxing this too hard.
Oh, yeah.
I greatly pity people who spend their entire youth working and like never get to have fun, and then they get old and now they're too old to have fun because like,
And then they have that realization, and then the midlife crisis is, and then you got like, because that American dream ideal really applies to men across the board a little bit more so, because women at least were in that dream were more family driven, so at least like they got to experience like family. But the guys, when they get old, they realize, oh my god, I've worked for nothing, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the reason. There's a lot of reasons why this male suicide rate's so high.
yeah, dude, they suck.
You know,
Um,
how
Because
dare
they're
they?
toy boys these days.
You actually
True.
touched on something that I think is like super important for the average person, which is the idea of family. And I don't even mean like a family in the sense of like coming in some chick and like shooting out like babies. I mean it in like the Fast and Furious Dom Toretto version of family.
Like, why can't I have that? Like, where's my like plot armor so that I can just like experience wins with my family?
Exactly. No, like I feel like so many people have like an underdeveloped social life, or like a much smaller than it ought to be like circle of friends, and like they just spend so much time investing in the wrong shit. And like, so I have like a super like really widely branched out friend group, and I have a lot of like super close friends that I have like very intimate relationships with, and I feel like so many of my close, intimate friends, I'm like, well, you're like one of like 30, right? But for them, I'm like one of 2. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, I feel bad if I don't like interact with some people sometimes, because I'm like, oh man, like you're going to feel abandoned because you didn't stack like a good fucking friendship, like, you know, backlog. And
Have a reserve.
yeah, like I feel like so many people are so bad at having a lot of friends and they don't have meaningful relationships in their life, and it like just ends their existence super fucking hard, and I feel like super bad for him.
It's because they don't know the concept of intimacy. There's a lot of especially this is also especially men because you know, growing up, guys, at least this is like the toxic masculinity bit about it. Is
Yes,
guys weren't
top
allowed
G.
to emote. They
Yeah,
just weren't
they,
allowed
they
to.
couldn't emote. I love that. That's such
Yeah.
a good fucking way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's squelched from birth.
So the only kind of intimacy a lot of guys actually experienced, well, at least like for our generation and younger, would be sex.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing they have.
Yep.
And so when they're trying to tell like what is like intimacy, they think, oh, it's when your bodies are touching. That's it, because you're sharing an intimate moment with someone. When realistically, women have all kinds of different forms of intimacy they experience all the time.
Yeah. Dude,
But,
actually so based right now. You're proving to me, Shamclaw, that you're not retarded and you're actually super based. This is S tier.
Yeah. For me, I've had to look at like relationships for my entire life because I'm on the spectrum. That I don't, because I don't understand the concept of friendship. Like I purely look at things at like give and take and value.
Yeah.
So friendship's always been difficult. So, but I've also been stricken with that lack of not lack, well, stricken with the need for I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, no, I expect that's a pretty common thing for most people.
Yeah, so I like I've had to look at this like just formula ways. It gets hard because like what is intimacy to somebody that doesn't like have a, because everybody has a different like emotional kind of like what they feel.
100%.
So like people that don't understand like empathy or struggle to get it, or people that aren't that have huge egos and don't understand like what like being humble. No, that's a bad way of saying that. People with like huge egos don't understand like the waves that they put out and how they affect people, because they think they're just awesome and they should feel good that this awesome person is here.
Based.
But like, so in my experience, it's even recently, Steve told you what I did with my adventures with money lately.
Based. You know, we don't have to share that with all 30 of our podcasters if you don't want to.
I know.
But...
So, but like, as somebody who's just been like scared to do things, like I've learned that if you want to do something, in the first 5 seconds of you thinking about it, you have to do it, or your anxiety or whatever you have will kick in.
Yeah. So not even anxiety, but just like like it sounds so fucking dumb to say, but like the best fucking way to do something is to do it. Like, you just have to start. And so many motherfuckers like get stuck at the drawing board, or like
you can't get stuck on it. You just have to begin it. Like as soon as it pops in, you can't be like wait for the thoughts to go. But
yeah, dude, unbelievably based take here, Shamclaw. Like so many, I have a friend who will have like he'll have grandiose ideas and like really want to like work on like really big projects, but like they're just so big and like a massive undertaking that he never actually starts them. And it's like no, what you do is you just chip away at it. Whenever you want, you just start working when you think about it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, some people have like really, it's like it all comes down to work ethic. So many people have like a fucking terrible work ethic, where it's
because
like
they don't teach it. Like, they need to.
It's never been necessary.
Yeah,
you can get by with a shitty work ethic and D's.
Yeah, I don't even know how you teach work. Like,
well,
go for it,
the first thing you would do to teach like a work ethic is teach critical thinking. So as soon as people start to question, is this the correct way? Is this the right way? They will start to come up on their own ideas of how to go around things and do it. So because everybody's work ethic has to be different, because like you're not going to go look at the kid that's eating glue in the corner. He's going to like, yeah, he's probably good with like numbers, right? No, he's probably going to have a workaround, because he's obviously like the simulation of the glue is just so overwhelming. He needs something to like overcome that.
Yeah,
but
like, sorry, keep going.
Because critical thinking is not taught in schools, it's the thing that's taught in schools is do this, and this is how you beat school. You're only taught how to beat the system.
Yeah. At least in American schooling, in Southern California, which is like a super liberal place, we definitely talked about critical thinking a lot and the concept of it. But I was in school, so I didn't give a fuck about anything they were trying to teach me. All of my development and like where my fucking nose is on fire for some reason right now.
Yeah, I've been watching that. You've just been attacking it all this time.
Oh my god. The fucking like all of my work ethic and my drive for things and like almost all of my like shaping as a human being came from like my first 2 years in the workforce and like the guy that like was my foreman. That guy, coolest dude on this fucking planet, and he taught me so much about like why you want to do good work and like I don't know how to fucking describe it because it's like coming out of high school, my idea was like, oh, well, you should always just do the minimum amount of work because, like, why the fuck would you ever overexert yourself to, like who fucking cares? And then, like, I learned a lot about, like, no, like, you want to do good work so you can look at shit and be like, damn, like, I did a fucking great job there. And, like, it helps you, like, build your self-esteem and you become very confident in yourself. So, like, I've become, like, a super confident person literally just through, like, sanding a fucking door and being like, God damn. That's a pretty level sand I did there, and it's pretty fucking good. And just super simple shit like that. I don't know, like, but I don't know how like you teach that in school outside of like, just people just have to have life experience.
I had an AP English class in my last year of high school that was trashed the year after. Don't know why, but its whole goal was to perspective change and critical think, and it was completely verbal. There was no writing.
Based.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, put me in that class, please. Because, well, as you saw with my, like, digits here, writing hurts for me.
Yeah.
So I was never a fan. And I had so many boomer teachers that are like, oh, typing? No, you can't do that. Why would you even ask? It's pen and paper.
Yeah, I feel like I've had, Southern California just was so good for my upbringing because I had so many, like, super progressive teachers that, like, were really invested in my future and my development as a child that like I think if I went to school anywhere else I would have turned out so much shittier. Like I can think of so many teachers that had like one-on-ones with me and we had like deep meaningful conversations that like at the time did fucking nothing for me. Absolutely zero. But fucking 5 years removed, you think back to that conversation, you're like, fuck, dude, like they were so right.
Those are the intimate conversations usually people avoid.
Yeah.
It's because they don't know how to process it at the time. So, so that's a mentor is probably one of the most important things.
I've had so many good mentors.
Like I've seen another thing you shouldn't do is TikTok because it's that dopamine kind of like thing. Like if you're on TikTok, this only applies if you actually have the app. I'll assume that you do for this, but
okay, I don't.
So do you know how like when you're scrolling on any feed like Twitter or whatever?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool. Oh, that's nice. And then try to remember literally the last 5 things you looked at if you've been on it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't because it's just dopamine hit. And that's why people get addicted to social media. And that's why a lot of people, when they get bored, they're like, I want a quick hit. And it starts to turn into an aggressive habit-killing habit.
No, I could not agree more. This is just Shameclaw, you're unbelievably based. Okay.
I mean, like, I've had a lot of failures in my life because of this thing, by the way.
Yeah, no, failure builds character. I've actually been having this conversation so much with one of my friends about the idea of like sometimes like you should just do something that's hard for the virtue of like experiencing something that is difficult, because like the more adversity you face, like it can do one of two things. It can fucking crumble you, or two, it just builds you into like a superhuman that just does not waver. And I feel like a lot of people are too afraid to like face adversity like willingly. They're always like forced into it.
Well, you're not given any tools to like approach it most of the time. Yeah. Which is weird that they don't show that.
I think most people are NPC bots that just cannot begin to comprehend half these conversations.
We are in a simulation.
That's true. I am made of computer parts. I don't know, like, do you ever just, I don't know how often you guys go outside. I've been forced to go outside a lot in the last like year by just not having a job and like having to like go to the store to eat food. And the amount of times that I'll look at a motherfucker and just be like, the amount of processing power going through that dude's head is like just slightly above what my dog experiences. Like, this guy is as close to an NPC as you could possibly get, and it fascinates me.
Mm-hmm.
Or like even like on Twitter, like I love reading replies on like a hot topic, because zero times has an eloquent point been the most upvoted thing. It's usually something that's just so fucking brain dead and there's like 5 words, and I'm like, God, I love the human condition.
Especially since Elon took over, those hot takes have gotten hotter, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I didn't use Twitter very much until recently, when like
Same, actually, yeah.
people are they're just a lot more wild, and they entertain me far more. The closest thing that I have to TikTok is they're called Instagram Reels. Is the exact same fucking thing. It's like shorts, but the way that I choose to navigate those is like much different than I think most, but maybe not actually. Like my purpose of looking at Instagram Reels is to like stay in contact with like 2 of my friends, because that's like how we communicate. We'll send like a few reels and we'll like talk about them and then repeat. And then that's my only experience with reels. So I don't have the like scrolling endlessly thing. It's like, no, you send like 5 or 6, or you know, if you're really feeling it that night, you're taking a long shit, maybe 20, and then you just close it and you go back to doing your shit. I could not imagine getting stun locked out of like shit I actually had to do by like an Instagram reel or like a TikTok. That frightens me, that there are people that can get stun locked by a fucking app.
It's like addiction, right? Like too much dopamine hits causes you to be like lethargic and just kills your want to do like literally anything. So, and because of how good clickbait has become, it's starting to become that. And then how good predatory like practices in like video games now, like oh, log in for your daily. Oh, this is 80% cost effective. Get this 80% bundle now.
Yeah.
Like all these practices are causing people to have, like, especially kids, because they're just targeted at kids now, causing kids to have even worse addictions and like hobby management and like than us. And to me that's staggering.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to it, and like even like my friends and like the like children I grew up with, and like for whatever reason it just never, I don't know if it's like my brain just like I'm too dumb to like be super invested, or like I think it goes to like introspection, where it's like anytime I feel like I'm addicted to something, I'll have like a moment of self-awareness and be like, yeah, we're just gonna stop doing this for a bit. That's kind of weird. Like,
yeah, but then the itch, it's just like,
no, the itch comes and you just go, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, you haven't let it grab you. Then you've been mindful of your. Yeah,
I'm trying to think, because I do a lot of things that like I think to most people would look like an addiction. Like I love video games and I do play them like most every day, but like
it's a hobby.
If like there have been times where I'll just go like a week without going on my computer because like I just got too busy with work, or like I had to go do some shit, and it's been a while since I've had that happen because I don't have a job right now, so there's no reason to go do shit. But like there'll be times where it's like I want to go do something in the game, but like, oh well, I have to go like, you know, finish building X thing like in real life. Like what? But I feel like there are a lot of people that want to play the video game instead of doing their personal life stuff. So they just play the video game instead.
Yeah, it's escapism and the people losing their touch with like reality and what they're doing.
Yeah,
because some people like they need the escape so bad, but they don't know how to properly manage it. So then they're just like, oh, I need to do this every second. So then they do it every second, and then when the second that they can't, they get the side effect of like, oh, this is stopping me from doing my escapism, and I hate it. Ooh. Meanwhile, you're just like, oh, I like this hobby. I'm gonna do this for a little bit. Oh, I gotta go do that. Okay.
I feel like
go do it.
diversifying your hobbies is also super important. So like I've really got into baking for a while, and it's the problem with hobbies for me actually is if I get good at something, I quit immediately. Like as soon as I hit
you've beat it, you've
yeah,
won.
Exactly. Like as soon as I like, so like how to explain this? So I think a lot of people will do something, they'll be bad at it, and they'll be deterred from doing it. I'm the kind of person that when I try and make my bread and it comes out like shit, my reaction isn't like, well, I fucking suck at making bread. It's like, well, we're gonna go make 4,700 loaves of bread until like we fucking figure out how bread should be made, and then once we've like gotten really good, we'll do that a few times. You know, make sure we've got our standards set up, and we can repeat our good bread making, and then we're just gonna move on to the next skill. And
you power level a skill, and then you just move to the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a bad mindset to have, but there are a lot of skills that like, and I'll go back to them like months later, and it's like, oh, I still got it. I remember doing this.
For me, I have it's not that I'm scared to fail. It's when I go out and do something, I have to I have to go all out.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like so I'm just like, so recently I've been like, a hobby, you don't have to like go all out. It's something you enjoy. I've kind of been like separating the two, because I used to just, as I told you with the Beat Saber thing and the wrist pop now, went way too hard. I would play Beat Saber literally till I just like fell flat on the floor for 5 minutes. So, just like way too hard. When I made the most recent one that I went for was, like Teamfight Tactics, TFT.
I've heard of people mention it, and I've seen the word TFT written many times. Could not fucking tell you what it is, but continue.
It's just essentially it's like chess but automatic. You place the things that you have, and then they fight, and there's strategy, and there's all kinds of stuff to it. And because I really wanted to be good at it, I played it for like 3 weeks ish straight, and I got the highest rank in it. And I was like, okay, I did it, and I haven't tried to play rank since.
Yeah, I had a very similar experience with Yu-Gi-Oh, where like how do I explain? So with Yu-Gi-Oh, I have liked the same deck since like 2007, and whenever you step into competitive, obviously there's a meta, and it's like, well, I want to see if I can take my shitty Moron deck to like whatever the highest elo is in Yu-Gi-Oh. I did it for like 3 seasons, and it's like, I'm just not gonna touch it for like a whole year now, because like there's nothing else I can do, and it's like I only have fun if I'm like challenging myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I were to just swap to a meta deck, I would get so unbelievably fucking bored, because it's like, yeah, like this is meant to succeed. If you don't succeed with your meta deck, you're fucking like dumb as shit.
Like if you only meta slave in a lot of games, you'll burn. Because a lot of the time when people play a meta thing, it's not because they want to, and that's most of the sheer driving factor people do things anyway.
Yeah,
and you don't want to work, so then why in your hobby are you not wanting to do your hobby the way you want?
I think that Jit is the perfect example of the opposite of that, where like Jit only does what's fun. Like Jit and I will go play like a shooter, and it's like the throwing axe would be the worst weapon in the game, but Jit's like, no, it's cool as fuck when it hits with a throwing axe. So he'll just do that regardless of like if it's meta or not. And there are often times where I am like incredibly envious of Jit's ability to just not give a fuck and like do some horribly unoptimal thing, but he's having so much fun. I'm like, god damn, I respect the shit out of that. I hate that you're on my team, but I respect it.
That's where we get the hero play coming in. You just do whatever you think would. Oh, if I pull this off, it's just the sickest clip ever.
Yeah, so Jit will do things. So this thing called inting. However, he will int with the intention of being the hero who saves the day, and he calls it the hero play. So there are just time I have so much fun. The
shack is probably one of my favorite.
So what Jit does? We're playing PUBG. He covers this shack with enemies who have shotguns in this very small building with fucking gasoline, right? I'm going up to throw a nade in the window because they're in a small fucking area. They're fucked, right? Whoever else we were playing with is also a moron, and they had a shotgun, and they ran into the room to fight them. It was Creamery. Creamery won, for the record, so I guess, I'm an idiot.
Sure, yep.
Jit lights the fire as me and Creamery are outside this building, so he kills me and Creamery. in the process of burning these two dudes out, and I've never screamed at shit harder in my fucking life than in that.
Found that clip for him to watch too.
Oh, it's so
Worth it.
fucking good. Also, I'll be right back. I'm gonna check on my lasagna. Talk about something while I'm gone.
All right.
Really good bit is just to not talk about anything at all. The entire
We
time.
just sit here and stare.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Oh.
oh no, take that off. It's the worst thing ever.
I don't know. It sounds pretty good to me. And
That's
he
pretty-
says he doesn't edit his videos, so anything could happen right now.
True. It is the Wild West right now. He often likes to leave and just abandon us mid-podcast for some baking or cooking.
Ah, that means he times his baking well.
Also, if you ever want to take a peek, that 30-second clip is in the chat right now. Here in the live studio audience.
I shall.
I'm gonna eat this whole fucking thing.
Oh, look, he's coming back with his lasagna.
Oh, it's so small.
Yeah, why is it so tiny? Little guy with his little tiny lasagna.
He brought his oven mitts.
All right, I'm back. What's up?
Oh,
We were just
welcome
talking
back.
how cute you are.
Oh, thanks, dude. You're
Yeah.
cuter. Yeah, I
Love
can't believe you
the
shaved your
oven mitts.
face. Actually, is that why you're not showing your camera?
No, because it's in London.
No,
Ah, yes, London is the bad camera place.
I brought my camera because I thought it would be fine to record the audio, and it's very much not fine to record the audio on.
No, it's terrible. It's awful. God, the lasagna looks so. It's just staring at me like a little fucking slut. Dude, if there was any character I related to more in any media on this earth, it's Garfield, and it's only because of his love for lasagna that I also share.
And his verbal abuse for his master.
Yes, I fucking God, I love lasagna, dude. It's so fucking delicious. The fuck is my dog staring at? There's nothing to stare at.
Nah, he's looking at me.
Anya.
Also, I bought, or my mom bought, I guess, this little red vest for my dog to wear. I was like,
I was gonna ask about that.
I'll never made my dog wear a vest. That dog is so funny walking around with this little vest on. God, what a great idea. Clothes for dogs.
Oh, well, speaking of things parents that get you, my Amazon Dot broke, so my dad's like, I'll get you one.
Now, I don't know what the fucking Amazon Dot is.
It's like Alexa,
Okay,
and then blah. So
Yeah.
he got me the kid one.
I see it base.
I
There's
love
a little dragon on it.
You know, I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
that's
It's like-
Dragon.
Oh, shit,
That's
I've been
perfect.
playing Ark recently.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, I started playing last night. I booted up a map I've never played on, and then there's dragons on it, and I'm scared.
Sounds like you need to host a private server for us.
I already have.
Oh,
It's already up.
hardcore Arc?
No, we're not doing
Hardcore,
we're
yeah,
not doing
one
any-
life.
Arc?
We're not
One
doing
life.
anything hardcore again, okay?
Why? It's so much fun. I enjoyed it so much.
I did too. Listen, we'll talk about it later, okay, buddy? But
Are you excited for the Vin Diesel 2 of the Ark?
yes, I
Yeah.
learned recently that Vin Diesel is he plays a lot of Ark, and I'm still skeptical if he actually plays Ark because I feel like a lot of celebrities rely. Look, I feel like he plays Ark in the same way that my mom likes Game of Thrones, and that she couldn't tell you the difference between like Jon Snow and Tyrion Lannister. Okay.
Oh no.
But he's also like head in the creative project, so I'm probably 100% wrong. But Gerard Butler is going to be in the series, and I thought that was really fucking cool because I love Gerard Butler. I couldn't believe the like star-studded cast of the Ark animated series. It's like holy
Yeah, actually,
fuck!
great game.
Wait,
man.
there's an Ark
Oh.
animated series? Wait, what?
Yeah, it's got Vin Diesel, Gerard Butler, I think Russell Crowe, like people that you would never expect to be like, yeah, I love Ark, it's great. Yeah, I was shocked when I found out.
Shoots, I'd go tame a dinosaur.
Yeah, no, like,
I remember
there, go
playing
for it.
Ark in the beta. I was like, oh man, raptors are spawning in the middle of my base. This
Yeah.
sucks. Then I played Ark a year ago. Oh man, raptors are spawning in the middle of my base. This sucks.
Yeah, I played a lot of Ark. I got one of my friends into it, and she ended up just playing it like nonstop. But she got into it like way after I did in terms of like the game's development. And it's just so funny to like hear her say things, and or like I'll say something, and she's like, "No, it's never been like that." And I was like, "Motherfucker, it was like that for like 5 years. Like, what are you talking about?"
The kibble.
It's kind of
was
the-
it you that was there for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was trying to tell her like, oh well, like what dinosaur kibble is it? And she's like, what do you mean? It's just like superior kibble. I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah. So back in
Like
the
that's
day,
just how kibble is.
to tame dinosaurs, like each dinosaur would like kibble from a different dinosaur, and
Yep.
there's like a whole like ecosystem you had to make to farm them. And now you just farm the egg, and oh, it's over. And Spiv was trying to
Yeah.
gaslight us. It's great.
Well, here's another Ark history thing. When the game was coming out on, I think it was either alpha or beta, a game had come out before it that was exactly like Ark. Like it came out before. It was called The Stomping Lands.
Mhm.
Except this game had way better mechanics in it. It was at the time more popular than Ark, but the Stomping Lands, one of their developers took all the money and ran away.
Oh, okay. I was worried he was gonna like kill a child.
No, so then the Stomping Lands, like within 2 months, got taken off the Steam store, and then Ark exploded because they were both competing at the time, from what I could see on the analytics, and then everyone just jumped ship to Ark, and then Ark's is like, okay, we won, we're a game now.
There was a game called Atlas that came out that was I guess the creators at like what the fuck they're called, Wild Heart Studios, like had sold like part of their like engine off to somewhere, and they made like a pirate version of Ark. Everyone shit on that game because the developers completely abandoned it and were retarded. But my god, that game was fucking amazing. If you were like playing like a solo server with your friends, that game was sailing the ships is the best thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I learned so much.
But I hope so bad that Arc 2 has that kind of focus on sailing.
If it does, I'll cry tears of joy. Although I don't know what Arc 2 is good. I think Arc 2 is more story driven than survival, but I don't know how it actually works.
I really hope that. Well, I mean, Ark had a story. You just had to kind of fumble around and find it out.
Even now,
but...
like there's an intro sequence and end sequence.
Yeah,
like,
no. So like, obviously, Ark.
They're pushing the story into this one.
They're pushing it, but like, it isn't
It's
like the main focus. Whereas in Ark 2, like that is all they care about is telling a story.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind a story added to my survival game, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about survival added to my story game. You know.
Hopeful that it's like a co-op story or just free play island.
Oh yeah, have they mentioned that yet?
Nothing. I think.
No.
Like
I really hope that the game is just basically the same as the first game. It's just all the mechanics and everything are worked on like a lot more, like a better engine that they build it off of, so that there's more like mechanics that they could add to just the base game, because it still is like very much just like random dino spawn, or it's still like the mechanics are like it's still like a fun game, but the mechanics are pretty crude, pretty easy. Like there's a lot they could do in like a new engine.
My favorite is whenever a game company says like, "Oh, we can't do that. Like we're limited by our engine," and like the next week a modder just does it perfectly. It's like, wait a minute. Like do you know what, like this was back when PUBG was still like a game they cared about and making nice. I don't think the amount of like people respect PUBG as much as they should for adding vaulting to the game. Cause like they had to create like a whole new section of their fucking engine to include vaulting. It was like they released like a dev video on it, and like the process they had to go through to make vaulting function in PUBG was fucking insane. Like you basically have to take every single part of your fucking map that you have and now make like a vaulting mechanic that you can apply to. It was fucking insane to read, where it's like, yeah, we didn't think people wanted this, but then they did, so now we have to figure this out. And they fucking did it because they actually cared back then.
I mean, the history of like battle royales is pretty interesting.
Amazing.
Considering that they started from zombie survival.
Yeah, dude.
Then you got H1Z1.
Yeah, fucking Canadians. Zed.
Right. Yeah.
And
then it turned into PUBG. And then PUBG was like the most hackable game I've ever played.
Yes.
We were just talking about like PUBG being the awakening of how many hackers really are out there and how easy it is to just like
seeing that car fly by and then drive through buildings was wild.
Dude, I don't even mean that. I have long been of the opinion that the average like not average, but a very large portion of famous Twitch streamers just cheat. like blatantly cheat, and like, and I don't mean like aimbotting and shit like that. I mean like simple stuff like, oh, I'm gonna run like a no recoil script or whatever on this specific gun, and so I'm just gonna frag out anytime I find this fucking gun. And I'm so glad that like technology has gotten to the point where people that are much nerdier than I will spend hours analyzing people's gameplay and be like, yeah, and of course this person's been shooting the whole time. And like they inevitably admit to it, and it's like, oh yeah. Or like there was the Activision lawsuit they filed against some like cheating software, and like one of the big reasons they cited it was like, yeah, a lot of our top streamers like are using this fucking software, and it's like annoying as shit because we have to promote them, but they're cheating. And it fascinates me, and it's like, of course people would cheat.
There's one I saw on TikTok, the app I said that you shouldn't be on. But there's this one girl who got out. Her whole platform was like, I'm the best
Nadia?
Warzone player. Yeah, Nadia.
Yeah.
I'm the best Warzone player. And people are like, yeah, she's cheating. Like, what are you talking about? She's super inconsistent. And then she's suddenly amazing. No, she's cheating. And then she's just like, well, all you guys can't handle your ego being crushed by a girl. And that's why you hate me. And then she goes to an actual competition and uses their rig, and she gets absolutely decimated. And then afterwards, she's like, yeah, I cheated. It's whatever, you know? Why wouldn't I? It's fun.
So
It's like,
I remember following
okay.
that and being like, okay, guys, like, come on, like, so you can hit nutty shots sometimes. And the second I realized she was a console player and she claimed to do all this on a controller, I immediately was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, just never, you're a dumb bitch. Like, you're cheating. What the fuck? Like,
oh yeah, here's a mini cheat that's not really a cheat. Do you ever play shooters?
you have no idea who you're talking to. I'm a fucking psycho when it comes to shooters. Continue.
Yeah, I know. But do you want aim assist?
Absolutely.
For free?
Oh, you plug your controller in?
And yeah, and you just have either a button or a something going that like some kind of input on the controller. Sometimes you have to do, but you can basically apply it to all games, and then you just get aim assist with the mouse.
Yeah.
So, apparently, it's just an average practice for a lot of people.
Yeah. So keep in mind that I'm an insane person, and like the idea, like concepts of like honor and like cheating disgust me. So I would literally like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm an insane person for feeling this way, but like the thought of cheating like makes me want to fucking kill myself. Like all throughout high school, I never cheated. Like it's just not something that like I could like sleep at night doing.
Well, it's more of an exploit because it's not really cheating because it's part of the game.
Nah, it's cheating.
Sounds like coke.
I mean, a lot of people already do it, so it's like pretty much just leveling the playing field.
No, dude. No, what you do is you rise above it. All right, you shit on these guys using their dumb little controllers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
When I discovered you get aim assist with like a controller, it was just because I always had my controller plugged in from playing For Honor or like Dark Souls, and my camera was drifting constantly. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then my sens was weird and off.
Yeah.
I was like, I shouldn't be able to hit like or track these shots. Like, I'm aware of my own skill. I'm bronze 1. And then I realized, oh, my controller's just sitting upside down on my desk. I wonder what
happened to me
if I unplug that.
in Battlefield. I was fucking excited because when I fly helicopters, I would use my controller because I have like thousands of hours on my controller, and so I would just set my controller down, right? Well, then I'm like playing, and I didn't get the aim assist shit because like my thumbsticks were fucked up, so they were always just moving, and I was like, dude, there is like my game is broken. I'm constantly trying to look left. I don't know what the fuck is happening. It's really pissing me off, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh, my fucking controller's upside down on the thumbstick. I'm a fucking retard.
See, I've done that so much now. Anytime I experience any kind of like problem, I'll just lean over to the side of my computer and immediately unplug my controller, no matter what I'm doing. Even if it's like a Windows, I'm not even in a game. I'm like, all right, let's see if it's this. Pop. No. Okay. It's one of my first checks now because of how much it's messed with me.
Speaking of controllers, I don't know if you feel this way, but I've always felt like the Xbox controller is like one of the greatest creations on this planet. Like, I fucking love the Xbox controller so much.
I mean, I play all fighting games on it.
Yeah, there's something about the PlayStation controller where the thumbsticks are like parallel to each other that just bothers the fuck out of me.
Same.
I could never play PlayStation games. I remember going to my uncle's house, the only place where I could play GTA, but he only had it on PlayStation. I was like, oh, I can't play this game ever. God has tempted me, and it is a cruel curse.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I miss playing fucking. Oh, I fucking love Lasagna. By the way, this is like I'm in heaven right
Yeah, it
now.
looks like you're just in heaven. You're just inhaling it as you go.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Sounds like it.
fucking polish off this lasagna in like the next 5 minutes. But yeah, there's something that hits different about like just gaming in your childhood on these like consoles that sucked dick with like terribly optimized games, and they were just fantastic.
Well, it's because like games back then were made to impress your friend. Like
I'm not following, but continue.
well, like if you look about it, look at developers. You'll if you look at the original footage from the developers of WoW, they're like, oh my god, I thought of such a cool idea.
Oh,
we do?
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, but now like the industry views it as okay, so we only need this, this, and this.
Yep.
Cool. Like
Yeah.
innovation isn't like a priority.
Yeah.
If you look at even the history of the Halo games, which 343 has successfully murdered, you'll see that they all were just like, I want to make this game cool. I really like Halo. I want to. If you look at because there's a side by side YouTube video that I saw that my friend sent me of the original team working on 1, 2, and 3, and then the new team that are working on Infinite. And Infinite, the devs sound absolutely demoralized and hate what they do. And then Halo 3 sounds like I have a camera on my friends who are like, "Oh, that's sick, dude. Yeah, let's do that." Or
I've seen a lot of that. A lot of the Halo 2 behind the scenes is very much like that.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you're talking
Uh,
about.
the most endearing thing I think I've seen in video games is actually like the dev team to Halo 3. Keep in mind, it's only because I played, Halo in my youth that I think this probably, but because they knew that they weren't going to come out with a sequel, they made Forge so people could make their own sequel within their game.
Yep.
Forge was the love letter to their fans because the trilogy was over.
Yep. Yeah, Forge was insane. Like the amount of innovation that came from that is fucking absurd.
Oh, it was
Forge is
amazing.
kind of a highlight
I made
of the whole method.
back in the day, and sorry to cut you off there. I made a cat and mouse-esque game called Minotaur that had people playing it for a long time. I was really happy with myself.
I played that. Yeah. Yeah. Forge not being like coming with the release of Infinite was fucking insane to me. Like, yeah, your game's gonna die.
Have you seen Forge right now in Infinite?
Nope.
Why would
Oh.
I?
I'm
bought
assuming
the
it's
game,
amazing.
I bought it a
It's
year
like-
ago, though.
Yeah. They should have shipped it with the game, obviously. But as of right now, with Forge being out, my buddy at work was telling me about it because I had no idea it came out. But essentially, they just made Forge like they went back to the Halo 3 roots of it,
Yep.
and then just way surpassed all the tools.
Oh, of course.
And
Yeah.
said, "Here you go. Here's the dev kit for
Yep.
Halo. Make
So
whatever you want."
Which
Yeah.
they should.
to clarify, I wasn't saying that like. So what I meant when I said that shit was that by not including Forge, they fucking dropped the ball, right? Because the game is
Oh,
only
yeah,
at
absolutely.
its most popular when it first came out. If Forge had dropped with Infinite, the amount of fucking people that would have stayed playing Infinite, like, just
Oh yeah, that would have been my game, and that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking it was going to be. And then we played for 2 weeks, and I was like, "Oh, Forge is still not out."
Yeah.
The
Well,
thing
all right, I guess.
the thing that killed it for me is I couldn't play co-op with my brother.
yep.
Like, the hell. And also, like, sure, the campaign's short, but if I can still use all the skulls and play with my brother, it was still a good time because Master Chief was Master Chief again. He wasn't like suddenly this 5 foot tall, like small guy that was only he's supposed to be just a walking god amongst men, and then in the previous games they like really humanized him and took away his kind of like effect, and it just sucked and it made me mad.
I've
So
always
when
liked... Oh, go for it.
So when Infinite like finally brought him back as actual Master Chief, unnerfed, and he's just there, he's back to being the demon.
Yeah. It was a fucking one-man
Nice.
army,
Mhm.
For me, I could not stand the Infinite storyline only because my favorite parts of Halo have always, like, from story-wise, have always been the Marines in the background and how they have to interact with, like, the Chief, because the Chief is this, like, god creature, and I've just always loved the Marines,
I agree.
and then they're just, like, not a part of the last, like, fucking 3 games.
it's so cool in the first 3 games, just interacting with the Marines, just like even just not doing the campaign, you just go, oh, there's a Marine over there, and you just go goof off with him.
Mm-hmm.
The Marine will have like 8 or 7 lines he'll say to you,
Yep.
and that will be his or her lines on whatever Marine you're in front of.
Yep.
And then they had like all the red versus blue cameos that if
Yep.
you went off into the boonies, you could find. It's
Nice.
great.
Fantastic. Also, we've hit our hour. I'm gonna go finish this lasagna. May, go fuck yourself. Bye, everyone.
Love you.